Hi, Kendall Rawls, Director of Development with the Rawls Group and International Succession Planning Association. And I am here with my good friend, Joe Girard, who is an excellent and extremely impactful sales coach. And we've been working together on a few projects with enhancing our communication at the Rawls Group and also building a program, the Certified Succession Planner, through the International Succession Planning Association. And as we've been talking about this, a large part of what Joe and I will strategize is how can we make this program extremely impactful for advisors who are interested in this program and are wanting to make a big impact in working with business owners. And in large part, a lot of it is communication and being able to connect with the values and motivations of a business owner. And the last episode of this conversation, we were talking about motivations. And Joe gave a very brief summary of a graphic I'm going to bring up just so in case you didn't see the episode, I'm just going to show it real fast. And Joe, you can kind of give a quick summary.
Yeah, I mean, really what we're looking at is I'm excited about the stuff that you guys are doing because, you know, as we look at the stuff that goes into the succession planning and the matrix, and man, you guys have a lot of things that you cover, and rightfully so, because you're going into the complexity of some very busy and important and you know, complex businesses that have a lot of interdependencies. And when, you know, people are out there as service professionals selling to complex businesses, they have to understand not just, you know, how to solve the problem that they're being told, but what's really behind those problems, and not just the problem of the person they're talking to, but what's motivating everybody that's involved. And when we take a second and take a step back and start to think about what could be behind this statement, because we're paying attention, now we can build trust. Now we can ask better questions. We can figure out whether somebody is really trying to, you know, grow their business fast or slow things down, help other people, help themselves. Is there something behind what they're telling us? And if we ask good questions, we'll be able to find that based on human motivations.
Yeah, absolutely. And so one is connecting with the owner's motivation, the client's motivation, working as best as we can to drop our own personal motivations at the door so we can connect mentally and emotionally with our client. And in large part, another one, which I love, motivations and values. I think it's kind of the special sauce which creates what makes people tick. It's behind everything. Is values. And I'm trying to change my. So in some training I did a couple years ago, I was introduced to BANK, which is a sales methodology. There's some information here if you want to check it out. I'm not a certified trainer. I just love the content.
Yeah.
And really what it focuses on is the different types of individual values and how those values drive decisions. And each of us come to a relationship or come to some sort of conversation with our own values. And oftentimes in sales or in communication, that's where conflict or mismatched communications happen because we're talking from our map of the world, thinking that this is so obvious. Why isn't the other person getting it? And oftentimes it's because our motivations and values are mismatched. And as I've been practicing this information in my own life and own practice, what I found is, for example, I lead more as a nurturer in action. But if I'm talking to someone that is more of a knowledge and I'm thinking I can flower my way through communication to motivate them or influence them to think the way that I do, they don't care about it's like as though I'm speaking a completely different language that they don't understand. They want to know more about the data that went into the data in which I'm trying to motivate, or how did this concept come alive? So how has this influenced your process, Joe? Or what do you think about this?
Yeah, and it's true. If the thing that we have to be careful with when somebody's looking at this, so you're watching this and maybe this is the first time you've seen BANK, this becomes a little bit overwhelming because you're going, oh man, now I have to not only remember all my stuff, now I got to remember all their stuff. What this really is taking a step back and realizing not everybody works the same way you do. right?
Yes.
And understanding how to ask good questions, even, and not even just how they are right now, but maybe the transition they've had in their business. I used to think that in order to be successful in what I did, I had to have a huge social media presence and always be go, 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 because then people would see me in a certain way. Now, more and more, my motivation in my business, I kind of want to be that ninja consigliere where nobody even knows that I'm there, but I'm helping in a meaningful way. So if you understand that about what I'm trying to do with my business, you can help me. For me, I'm somebody who likes the action side of things. So if you speak to the wrong side of it, then you're going to sort of miss. So what this really tells us is when you're talking to your clients, just pay attention. Ask good questions, see how they respond, and then ask questions based on that. I see a lot of people make the mistake of building all of their questions over here in isolation, building all their conversations and their sales pitch and their scripts and how they're going to present and what their offer looks like so that they feel really safe in that pre-prescribed bubble, and they go in and they just present without paying attention. They ask questions to get answers, ask questions to get answers, and they only have these surface conversations. Understanding this side of it, you could take this as simple as saying, if I know somebody really likes process stuff and they indicate that to me, here's how I would present my material in a more process way, right?
Yes.
If they're action focused, here's how I present this. So you're not having to try and map this all up, but just be cautious and be careful and conscientious. Hey, those are 3 C's. Be the 3 C's of how you're going to present your information. Just be aware, right? And that's really the big difference between people that can sell well and people that can't.
Yeah. Because oftentimes I find that people will create the questions and create the presentation based on the way that feels most comfortable to them.
Totally.
But they're not needing to influence themselves. They're already bought in.
Yeah.
It's connecting and asking the questions and getting to know somebody as best as possible, reading the room, to be able to craft the message that's going to be most impactful to the person listening.
Yeah, and as we've been talking about, like the ISPA stuff and CSP, all of these succession planning tools and resources, the biggest thing clients want is how quickly can you help me solve a problem? How quickly can you get me so that you understand what I need and where I need to go and help me see there's wins ahead? And if you're just trying to jam your offer down somebody's throat and you're missing what's driving them, you're going to hit that brick wall and you're going to go, maybe they just don't get it, or maybe it's not for them, when it can be absolutely completely opposite. And I know I've fallen into that trap so many times. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, in general, what I feel like I have to do before going on a call or meeting with somebody is I take a deep breath, because oftentimes I felt like before going through a lot of training and therapy that I had to be the person that had to perform. I was there to fix all the problems. I had to be this just super crazy salesperson, where at the end of the day, I just need to be the best me. Yeah. And I need to listen. I need to ask questions, ask better, deeper questions, and listen and allow them to talk and share what they're looking for, and then connect with that. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do about positioning the person on the other line or that you're meeting with to, one, feel safe to share the information, and secondly, they will guide you to what their need is.
Yeah. And that's why, we've talked so many times about like pre-call planning. It's so important. You don't have to go crazy with it, but the more you start to be sort of intentional and you have a purpose behind what you're going to do. And one of the things you can think about is, what's my role going to be on this? Am I going to be, sometimes, in your role, you're going to be a counselor for your client. Yep. You're almost like their therapist. Sometimes you really need to be a consultant, a strategist, a coach, right? You need to be somebody who's almost just like a cheerleader for what they're doing. And depending on what they need from you, where they are now, where they're trying to go, maybe how things have changed, who they're working with, you have to really understand what role you play and what material you present in what way and when and how.